Welcome to Power Up's Ask a Health or Fitness Expert podcast, where we have a variety of guests that volunteer to offer their share of love or fitness or products or services that are all good for us. A quick disclosure, this podcast contains our own personal tips, advice, suggestions, and definitely our opinions. My honorary weekly guest, Jake Weeks, is here to talk about meditation. All right, Jake, tell me, you love meditation, right?
I do. It's helped me a lot. I haven't done it nearly as much as I would have liked because I do know that it helps, but I feel like it's something that everyone should do. Everyone should at least understand what it's trying to accomplish. And the way I describe it to people, especially the kids in my life, because you have to make it even simpler than you would for an adult who's unfamiliar with the concept, is that it's basically just trying to get control over your thoughts and emotions. It doesn't have to be much more complicated than that. My mom described it to me initially when I was probably 10 as like trying to imagine your mind as a blank chalkboard and see what's written on the chalkboard. Well, that was boring to me, and it didn't take long before the chalkboard was writing like, go do something else. And it took me a long time to really understand what it meant to meditate. There's different connotations, there's different descriptions where you focus on your breath and you go into a kind of stage. And so I think it's been confused with some like spiritual pursuit or something. And it can be spiritual, but the idea is just to get control of your thoughts and emotions, because as you know, most of us have racing thoughts, and they're usually something along the lines of, it's cold outside today, but I feel hot right now. I have to do this today. I'm a little upset at that thing that happened last night. I wonder what I'm going to say to that person when I see them later. I don't want to have to work. I'm stressed out about this thing. It's just this ongoing, and it's a barrage, and it's rare that you have just like one linear thought. I mean, you will, but there's like background thoughts, and they're all that's how our mind works. So the whole idea of meditation is to maybe try and get a little bit of control over that, to try and get rid of some of those ancillary thoughts that aren't helpful, to realize how much of those thoughts are just wastes of time. They don't help you. I honestly believe that probably like 95% of our thoughts are just wastes of time. Not to say that we shouldn't think critically and we shouldn't use our logic. That is what gives us a distinct advantage. But if you really think about it, 95% of your thoughts probably aren't helpful. They're either like reimagining something that happened in the past. They're like trying to prepare for something that's going to happen, to the extent where you spend like 5 times as much time like envisioning what it's going to be like than the actual scenario will be. Or, you stress about work for hours before you actually go to work. Is that helping you? No, all those thoughts are wasted. And what they do is then they create emotions in your body, because there's like a feedback cycle between your thoughts and emotions. And sometimes the chicken comes first, sometimes the egg. Sometimes you have an emotion and that triggers a thought. I'm pissed. And you start thinking about something that pisses you off, and you get more of that emotion. And sometimes you have a thought when you weren't feeling bad necessarily about something that made you mad, and all of a sudden you got that heat inside you, and it just exacerbates itself. The nice thing is you can use that power to create a positive feedback cycle where you use your thoughts to calm yourself down and to make yourself happy. And I believe that's really the key to happiness in this world, is the way you think. It really is a glass half full or glass half empty kind of thing. And the more you can control your thoughts, the more likely you'll be to think in a glass half full kind of way. And so it can start with something just like trying to be aware of each thought as it comes through, especially the big ones, and then evaluating, is that helping me or hurting me? Can I replace it with something that's more helpful, etc. And so there's that part of it, really analyzing the thoughts. And then there's also the part of it where you just want to really be in the present moment. I mean, you're on a beautiful hike and you come across this beautiful view, and you can stop there and you can get your phone out and look at Facebook memes, or you can stop and smell the roses, take a deep breath, quiet your mind. You can try and take in the field of vision as one unified field of vision, instead of focusing on one little tree. You can start to hear the sounds of the forest and the birds and the city in the distance, and hear that all as one uniform sound. You can start to feel your body as one uniform feeling of energy, and not just my legs are aching and my neck itches. You feel it all. And so you're expanding your awareness to the present moment. So you're getting out of your thoughts in your head, and you're expanding your thoughts, your awareness to the present moment. And that's why some of the great classic books on meditation some of the things that came out in like the 70s and 80s when these concepts were really gaining popularity, like Way of the Peaceful Warrior and Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. So much of it is just about, can you just appreciate an ordinary moment for its uniqueness? I mean, can you find excitement and something to be thankful for in what is kind of a mundane moment? Again, that half full mentality. And that's what it's all about. So there's two aspects to meditation. There's the principle, the part that I'm trying to outline for you now, that you understand why it helps, why everyone should try to get control over their thoughts and emotions. And then there's the practice of it. And that's the part that's a lot harder. It doesn't take long to understand the philosophy of it. It takes a long time to put it into practice. But studies have shown, some new study just came out from Yale, that one time being exposed to these ideas and then putting them into practice made a difference on how people experience pain and negative images. That's just one time. Imagine if you carved out 5 minutes a day where you just sat in silence, and you don't have to sit in lotus position. You don't have to go just try to quiet your mind and come up with a system that works for you. Some popular ones are like, just be aware of your breath. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Try and slow your breath down. Those are just some really popular ones, and I think they're very effective. Just some popular breathing techniques that I know of, they're very popular. There's this box breathing technique that special forces use that I think is a great meditation technique, where you break your breath down into 4 stages: the in breath, the out breath, and a pause on either end. And you just do it for the same amount of time. So that's why the box. And then when they're in a stressful situation, they cut out the 2 pauses on either end. It's just in breath, out breath, but it's a form of meditation, really. And so breathing is something that has long been used by the yogis and the Buddhists to start. But you can start with anything. You can start, like I said, with just trying to be aware of all the sights in front of you, or all the sounds. But just, in my opinion, I think you should kind of have a system where you do it the same way every time. And you start by just controlling your awareness a little bit, and then you just expand it ever more, and it helps a lot. It makes a big difference. Even when I'm able to do it, it'll be months will go by and I won't seriously do it. And then I'll do it, and I'll just spend a few minutes, and just a feeling of calm. It's one of those things that's on my list. Please do this more. I know it makes your life better. But we were talking before this, and you expressed to me that, well, you don't have that much time for it. And it's tough because we have racing thoughts. We're type A's, we're go-getters. And so you almost feel like you're wasting time or something, probably, when you're sitting there doing something like that. So this is why I try to explain it this way, in a way that it's accessible to everyone. It's something you should try to do at all times. It's not something you have to do in a quiet room all alone by yourself. It's something you should be aware of and try to do all the time.
Right.
What do you think?
No, I resonate with a lot of what you said. I think that when I do it, when I do create that time and space, it's usually after I feel, or during the time that I feel stressed out, overwhelmed, the shoulders are really tight. I can feel the tension in my neck, and maybe even a mild headache. And you'd said something very poignant to what exactly I do when I meditate or try to relax, is I notice that I don't breathe when I'm really tense or stressed out. So what I like to do is be with nature, try to be outside, and really hone in all the senses: what I see, what I smell, what I hear, what I feel. I like to focus on each of those at a time, and then also really focus on my feet, and then working my way up in relaxation, thinking about each muscle and just kind of getting it to relax. But the breathing is a big one. I know that because, I do bodybuilding. So whenever I'm behind stage, right before going out, I breathe. Like, I really, really focus on my breathing, because if I don't think about it, but then when I dawns on me, oh, I'm feeling really, really tense and stressed out, I realize that I am actually holding my breath. So breath is really important. And it takes that focus off of all those fears or those frights or whatever's going on. And another thing that I do is when I feel that emotion come up of fear and anxiety, I have the tools and the knowledge how to flip that emotion, that feeling, because you can control your feelings, you can't control your emotions. So I flip that into excitement. I tell myself, you're not scared, you're going to do amazing, you're going to do incredible. This is excitement. We are excited to show the audience, the judges, whatever, that I have improved my physique from last time, you know. So it's all these things that, like you're kind of talking about, you know, we worry about those things that in our past or those things in the future that we really can't control, right? All those things in the past are done. It's done, right? We can't change the past. You can't really change the future. Worrying about it doesn't make it any less or any better. Is you know, you just gotta do your best. So focus on the here, the now. And the here and now is breathing so you don't pass out. So, you know, making sure that everything is the best that we can do in this very moment. Are my shoes on? Do I have everything ready? Is my suit on, right? Is it gonna fall off? Probably, maybe not. I don't know. Hopefully not. But you know, you just can't control those things in the future. So just worry about what's going on right now. So I just focus on my breathing and then realize that I'm not scared. I am excited. I am going to inspire one person in that audience today to elevate their game, and whether it be in their health or their fitness or whatever. So I changed that focus, because you're right, your thoughts can sweep you away. So I don't really necessarily consider this meditation, but it is a control of my thoughts, because what often will happen, or you know, you have these negative self-talk things start happening, right? This pattern. So I know how to stop that or control that or disrupt it by flipping it. Oh, your microphone is giving some pretty good feedback today. Don't move, Jake, don't move.
Is it better? Is it worse? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's pretty bad today. But you know, that's kind of what I do. Aside from that, you know, just when I'm really, really stressed out, you know, something I have done in the past is use the Calm app. The Calm app is a great tool, especially if you're new to meditation or going through a stressful time in your life, you know, divorce or loss of a pet or loss of a loved one. It really does help hone in those thoughts. And you know, it is good to have tools or things that are in place to help you ground, but also be grateful for what you do have in the moment. And like you said, utilizing your senses. So yeah.
I think for people who are going through something really traumatic, like the combination of meditation and exercise to me is, you know, by far the best sustainable way to get over these moments.
Yeah. Oh, now I can't hear you. Your microphone today.
Can you hear me at all?
Now I can.
Oh, so annoying. I'm gonna have to upgrade equipment.
Yes.
Professional caliber. We've earned that right.
Yes.
So I think the most important thing for people though, and this is why we should start changing the way we talk about meditation, is it's not some far-fetched idea for yogis in caves. It's something that can and should be done at all times. Just like yoga isn't something that you just do 1 hour a couple times a week in class. It's something you do all the time. Being aware of how you move and posture is something you do all the time. And you had said that you can't control your emotions, you know, with your thoughts or something along those lines. And I know you don't exactly believe that, but that is like a common perception that these things arise in our body and we just can't really control them. And that's why people pop all these pills and drugs. What neuroscience is showing us increasingly in studies about meditation is that you can use your brain, the frontal part of your brain, to control the other parts of your brain as effectively, if not more so, than drugs. And this most recent Yale study that I mentioned, one thing that was really interesting was as these people were doing these meditation techniques, they saw not just the activity in the front part of the brain where the thoughts arise really, but it was transmitted to the back. So they saw that like they used the thoughts and then this part of their brain stopped functioning, and then they still were able to like have the effects in the back. So it becomes subconscious, like your thoughts create this subconscious effect in your brain, you know, so that you'll be generally more calm and less prone to emotional variance and outbursts by doing this increasingly. And it's, in my opinion, from my experience, it's like a snowball effect. Like the more you do, the faster it works, and the more quickly you become calm and just accepting of the way life is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I believe that your emotions are from the result of your childhood, result of the things that have happened in your life, and your thoughts you can control those. And again, that kind of circles back. Once you get control of your thoughts and your feelings, and train yourself, just like you said, train your brain to think in a positive light, or see the positive in things, or be grateful in the moment, you can eventually train your emotions. But I do believe that the emotions are deep-seated, rooted things that, they come up, they boil, it's like a record player, but you can disrupt that record,
right,
and create healthy thinking patterns. But it takes a lot of practice,
right.
and
It's
I
more
teach.
ingrained. It's more subconscious, seemingly, right? Those emotions, they almost seem more powerful too, because you can't just switch, to thinking about baseball or something.
Right. We have over 60,000 thoughts a day, subconscious and conscious. How many times have you driven to work or to the gym and like, wow, I don't even remember driving.
Right. And so think about that. When you put it in that context, it does seem like 95% of those probably don't help you move forward in your life. They're just imagination, just stress, unnecessary hurrying and worrying.
Right. Right. Yeah. So meditation, you're right, can come in many different forms, many different styles, many different techniques.
I believe, in fact, I'm glad you said that. I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
even like to me, the greatest meditations are like playing sports, going out and playing really hard basketball or rock climbing. I think that's why there's such good therapy, but you really are so focused just on that, it's like this ever present, and they actually are calling that state flow now. It's like science is, developed a term for it, and they're trying to study it because they feel like once people get into that state, they perform at their highest levels, so it's very interesting.
I think that it can come in many different activities. It can be jigsaw puzzle. It could be
anything where you become focused and present, and fully immersed in what you're doing in that moment. That's the whole idea.
But it's not playing video games. It's not
Yeah,
what we're
don't get
talking about
immersed
here.
in that. I wouldn't call that a meditative moment. No, it should be
Yeah.
something that like might actually benefit your future self somehow. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if possible, some way that can be physically active and not necessarily exercise. I mean, that's great if you can do that. The martial arts, the ballet, the dancing, all these are wonderful. But just walking in nature, if you can, if weather permits and your body's able to, I think
Weather always permits, almost always.
yeah. So, well, great topic. I really love that we dabbled in this today, and I think that learning how to control your thoughts, stop worrying about the past, stop worrying about the future, control what you've got going on right now, and utilize your senses, and be grateful for what you have and where we are at this very moment, and appreciate what you've accomplished in life, and learn how to breathe, learn how to listen to your body, and relax. And
to me, this is really what I'm trying to accomplish with my work. I'm happy to help people get in shape and feel better, but like, to me, this is like real happiness. This is where it really comes from. It doesn't come from the outside. It comes from the inside. And this is what really causes it. Not just, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, I've received this award and that compliment. It's this type of being present with life and just trying to experience every moment for its fullest. That's what it really comes down to. And to me, all the fitness stuff that we do, it's so that we can have the opportunity to teach this kind of stuff to people and hope that they really take these philosophies on. That's my personal approach to fitness. That's why I am at Fit and Happy Club, because mind and body are linked. You can find my information there. Get my phone number, call me. I'll be glad to do an assessment on how well you meditate and a lot of other things too.
Absolutely. I'll have all your links below in our show notes, so that way anybody interested in honing in your thoughts and creating some sort of fitness plan and working out with you would be fantastic. They can get in touch with you. And this has been good. This has been good, Jake. I'm glad that we talked about this today, and I actually feel more relaxed right now. I was just talking about it. I'm like, what am I going to do today? I'm going to go for a walk. Actually, I think I'm going to go for a bike ride.
Oh, I'm getting my butt outside right after this, but it's a good reminder just to, remember these philosophies, that you do get to choose how you feel and that you can control your thoughts and emotions.
Absolutely. With meditation.
With meditation.
All right, Jake, until next time, I'll chat with you next week.
All right. Thanks, Catherine.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.